a gratitude with kids episode in the works anyway, but I decided given our current situation, I would bump it up to today. I spoke earlier this week about how we all do need to take time to express our grief for all of our losses, big and small, during this difficult time. If you missed that episode, I will link it. I think it goes right here. I will link it right here. But we can't just sit around moping all the time. So after you have taken some time to feel sad and grieve your losses, it's also important that you find time to practice gratitude. I think doing this as a family is a wonderful way to get to know your family members better and to focus on some of the good things that are going on in our lives right now. Speaking of gratitude, I would be so grateful if you would just tap that little like button right there, and while you're at it, hit the red subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, it's free. Free is my favorite price. I'd like to start by clarifying what gratitude isn't. Gratitude isn't just positive thinking. I feel like I heard a lot about positive thinking growing up, and while I don't think there's anything wrong with having a positive attitude, I do think that a lot of damage is done if people just demand that kids have a positive attitude and look on the bright side all the time, instead of giving them the chance to feel their emotions, express their emotions, and move through their emotions. A daily gratitude practice has helped me see that days don't need to be defined as good days and bad days. Most days aren't so black and white. Most days have both good parts and bad parts. This is why I have also learned not to just ask my kids, how was school? But to ask more probing questions like, did anything exciting happen at school? Or what was one thing you learned? Or is there anything you need to tell me about school today? While our family isn't religious, we still think it's very important to express gratitude and to give thanks for what we have in our lives. So at dinner each night, we go around and each member of the family says a few things that they are grateful for from that day. Our sweet little guy, for about a year and a half straight, every single night at dinner when he could barely talk, he said, I'm grateful for all this food, because he couldn't pronounce half his consonants. Apparently I can't either. All this food, all this family, and all these camping trips. And we had only taken him camping one night in his entire life. So we know how much he loves camping, and we have made an effort to make that a bigger part of our lives going forward. There are many ways that you could practice gratitude as a family. I like the idea of keeping a journal, but I think a family journal could be even better. You could keep it in a public room like the living room, and then all of the family members could use the same journal and be able to look at what other people have been writing. I also think it would be really fun to write things down on little slips of paper and just stuff them into a jar, and when the jar is full, you can look back on it, or you can just save it for a rainy day. I encourage you to find a practice for your family that you can attach to an already existing habit, like having a meal or making your bed, which of course only works if you actually make your bed every day. But when you attach it to another habit that you already have, then you won't forget to do it, because starting new habits, as you know, can be really, really hard. But just attaching something to a habit that you have, not so bad. If you already have a family practice of gratitude, I would love to hear about it in the comments below. And please, while you're down there, go ahead and hit subscribe. I will have upcoming videos about 24/7 parenting, how to handle some of this intensity that we're not all used to, and homeschooling, something that many of us swore we would absolutely never do, and yet here we are. You got this, mamas. The bald eagle just flew over. My husband is so loud. I came outside so it wouldn't be loud. I'm in the peace and quiet of the woods. For me, a daily gratitude practice has, my little one's waving. For me,